On the news, Nigerian Air Force destroys ISWAP training camp in Borno State. Buhari pledges to ensure transparency in financial transactions. And South Sudan rivals due to meet for crunch talks. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. The Nigerian Air Force have destroyed another terrorist training camp in Tubunzaram in Borno State in continuation of the airstrikes to clear out Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists from the northeast. Director of NAF Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Damola, made the disclosure in a statement on Tuesday. He said the intensified offensive operations of the Nigerian Air Force against terrorist targets in the northeast of the country have recorded further significant strides. This came about under the auspices of Operation Rattlesnake 3 being executed by the Air Task Force of Operation Lafiya-Dole. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that with the various reform agenda implemented with his administration, very soon all government financial transactions will be done in the open. The president gave this assurance on Tuesday in Kaduna at the personnel parade of the Detective Inspector Course 5 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The president revealed that the objective of his administration is to institute a level of transparency in governance through mainly information technology platforms. President Buhari said that various national reforms and collaborative efforts with international organizations are designed to institutionally strengthen anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria. The House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institutions will ensure that the Correctional Act 2019 is implemented and meets the objectives of the federal government. Chairman of the committee, Anayo Edwin, in a press statement on Monday, expressed his committee's worry over the plight of inmates in Nigerian prisons. He lamented that while the Act provides for the implementation of reformatory and rehabilitation programs to aid reintegration of inmates back into the society, not much has been done about it. He, however, added that in line with the legislative agenda of the 9th House of Representatives, under the leadership of the Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the House is committed to the full implementation of the Act. The Progressives Governors Forum (PGF), under the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), has celebrated the First Lady of Nigeria, AISHA Buhari, as she marks her 49th birthday. In a congratulatory message signed by the PGF chairman, Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, the governor said they joined Nigerians to celebrate the First Lady. Bagudu commended the First Lady for her contributions to the country's successes. He added that the First Lady has inspired Nigerians to develop initiatives to ensure that the change the administration promised Nigerians remained a shining light in the administration. The federal government has denied abandoning about 60 Nigerians living in Wuhan, China, as the coronavirus ravaged the city. Nigerian citizens, including students living and studying in China, had accused the federal government of failing to aid the evacuation from the Chinese province where the deadly coronavirus was first reported and had its largest number of victims. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Olorunibe Mamora, said in Abuja that the Nigerian government was in touch with the Chinese government concerning Nigerians in China. At the briefing, the Director General of the West Africa Health Organization, Stanley Okobo, said a huge amount of money was needed to prepare the region against the virus. The federal government on Tuesday expressed its readiness to tackle any potential outbreak of coronavirus. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, said this during her visit to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The minister was at the airport to inspect the arrangement and facilities put in place for the early detection of the COVID-19 virus among incoming passengers at the airport. She was accompanied on the visit by the Ministers of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, Minister of State for Health, Olorunibe Mamora, and Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, among other top government officials. The World Health Organization had placed Nigeria as a high-risk country to experience an outbreak of coronavirus. Nigerians in diaspora are pressing hard for a voting right to be able to participate actively in Nigeria's electoral process. At a workshop in Abuja organized by the Nigeria Diaspora Voting Council, Nigerians abroad called on the government to put policies in place that will grant them the right of political participation, irrespective of the country of residence. TV360's Tunji Oye reports.
In 2016, remittance to Nigeria from diaspora was over $22 billion. In 2018, this remittance rose to about $25 billion. With this huge amount remitted back home, Nigerians abroad believe the time is ripe to also actively be part of the process of choosing leaders during election and not just sending money home. At this conference are representatives of Nigerians from different countries. They are here to make a case for diaspora voting.
Every human being that is being denied of his right, we try to express it one way or the other. But because NIDO is the umbrella body of Nigerians in diaspora organizations, and we are created and gazetted by the government, we always carry the message, the goodwill message of the government to our diasporans. We are the people receiving the stones. If you get to Abidjan, on your reception, you are the victim, because they say you are not telling the government the truth. If you go to Togo, the same thing. If you come to Congo, Brazzaville, the same thing. Nigerians are boiling because of their right of voting that is being denied.
It is well known that Nigerians in diaspora are making significant contributions to their host nation. Nigerians in diaspora perform to the best of their God-given talent. Our country, Nigeria, needs a rethink on how to accommodate our own and how to develop a centrifugal force, a program that can begin to attract us back home from everywhere we are in the world. We need to contribute to development of our fatherland beyond merely repatriating monies.
INEC has the capacity. Yes, we may have one or two challenges with our elections here, but I know that being Nigerians, with the capacity we have, INEC has the wherewithal to ensure that we conduct diaspora voting peacefully and without all the... In fact, you might be shocked that it might turn out that diaspora voting may lead even the way in how we do things here.
Other stakeholders in this project also expressed critical things that is required to make diaspora voting possible, part of which is reliable database, funding, legislation, and manpower.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari endorses, without any reservation, diaspora voting and stands steady to play its part in its actualization. Indeed, recently, while in Ethiopia, the president expressed his support for diaspora voting. There, the president said, while speaking at Addis Ababa with the executive committee members of the Nigerian community in Ethiopia, that there is need for all stakeholders who are desirous to participate in elections to approach and work with the National Assembly to amend the Constitution in order to accommodate those in the diaspora to vote during our elections.
Diaspora voting is not a new concept. In the United States of America, sometimes they call it absentee ballot. In France, in India, in South Africa, amongst others, there are enabling laws and systems that allow a citizen to exercise their fundamental right to participate in choosing the government of their homeland. Achieving a similar outcome here at home will be one more step towards realizing the full promise of universal suffrage as it already exists in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Are there challenges? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. Are there reasons of concern? Yes. Are there things to be worried about? Yes. But that is why we're leaving it with the National Assembly. With everything my brother has said, look, first thing is let's be practical. Have a draft bill that will be sent to Parliament, which Mr. Omali has already worked on. And all those issues will be debated during the public hearing. So Nigerians will decide whether they want it or not.
Over 20 million Nigerians are captured officially to be in diaspora. This figure is substantial enough to alter the outcome of any election in the country. So, this is one project that needs to be well planned, well structured, strong legal framework, and unity of purpose to achieve this idea. 23 African countries are already operating diaspora voting. Will Nigeria be the 24th African country to grant diaspora voting rights to our citizens? From Abuja, Tunjoye, TV360 News.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, has advised the board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to be alive to its responsibility and key into the vision of the present administration. The minister said this while inaugurating the board of the NCC in Abuja. He emphasized the need for the NCC board to sanitize the industry of improperly registered subscriber identification number, that's SIM cards, and to develop regulations on the number of SIM cards an individual or organization can have at any particular time. They also charged the boards to ensure seamless integration of SIM data with the national database of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. Professor Adeolu Akonde, after taking the oath of office, assured of his readiness to work with other members of the board and management team of the commission to exceed the expectations of the government.
I urge all the board members to be united. Without unity, nothing can be achieved. Secondly, we are human beings. We have our own personal weaknesses, but the interest of our country as a nation must be our priority and preference. Any other issue should be secondary, but primary is the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians, and that should not be compromised in any situation we find ourselves.
Having given us the marching mark, the march to achieve 99.9%, then we have a lot of work to do, but I promise on behalf of the board and management of NCC that we shall exceed your expectation.
Thank you very much.
The Nigerian Senate has approved President Muhammadu Buhari's nomination of Captain Musa Nuhu as the Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Captain Nuhu was confirmed DG of the NCAA on Tuesday's plenary after Senator Smart Adeyemi presented the report of the Senate Committee on Aviation on the floor. After the confirmation, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, congratulated the new NCAA DG and charged him to do his best to ensure best practices are strictly adhered to under his watch.
Arising from his wealth of experience in the aviation sector, the committee considered Captain Musa Shaibu Nuhu suitable for appointment as Director General, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. Recommendations. Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished senators, the committee recommends that the Senate do adopt the report of the Senate Committee on Aviation and confirm the nominee, Captain Musa Shaibu Nuhu, as Director General, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Captain Musa Shaibu Nuhu for appointment as Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Captain Musa Shaibu Nuhu is hereby confirmed as Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. Congratulations to the confirmed DG.
We'll take a break here and we'll be right back.
Which housed the crash nurse recently rescued alive from possessing the problem nothing.
That the election has been postponed and Nigerians have been reacting.
Local area of Lagos as early as 7 April.
Some minutes past the incident has been managed and also
Headquarters to this morning. We have
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Now talking business. Nigeria's inflation rate has risen to 12.13%, and that's 0.15 percentage points higher than the rate recorded in December 2019. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) showed that the inflation was caused by increase in food prices. The NBS revealed that the rise in food index was caused by increase in prices of bread and cereals, meat, oils and fats, potatoes, yam, and other tubers and fish. The last time Nigeria's inflation rate was as high as 12.13% was in April 2018, when the CPI rose to 12.48%. The federal government has shortlisted 200 investors to bid for gas flare sites after the evaluation of statements of qualification submitted by interested companies. The Department of Petroleum Resources disclosed this on Monday, saying that 45 gas flare sites would be put up for auction in the first phase of the Nigerian gas flare commercialization program. At the bidders conference in Lagos, the director DPR, Saraki Awalu, said the program would create an opportunity for qualified investors to develop the gas currently being flared, adding that this would also generate employment in the country. He said the 200 companies were shortlisted out of over 800 who expressed interest in the 45 sites. The DPR boss also noted that the federal government is part of the Paris Climate Change Agreement committed to end gas flaring and to combat global warming. After several consecutive days of gains, oil prices slumped by more than 2% earlier on Tuesday as the coronavirus continues to weigh on market sentiment. On Tuesday, WTI crude was down 2.06%, and that's at $50.97 a barrel, while Brent crude was plunging by 2.24% at $56.38 a barrel. The price of oil was also under pressure from the continued stalling from Russia, which has been avoiding for weeks now, a direct reply to a proposal for deeper production cuts to counter demand loss from the coronavirus. Also, growing doubts about the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, including Russia, are inclined to reduce output further to stabilize prices and also weigh down on the price in the market. We'll take a break now. I'll bring you updates on the stock news after this. For the consecutive market day, market sentiment remained negative on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and that's with the all-share index closing lower at minus 0.08%. The market cap also declined today, closing at 14.347 trillion naira. The top losers today are the financial services sector, dominated by our Guarantee Trust Bank, United Bank for Africa, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, and Vitafoam. Now, on the other hand, the percentage gainers today include Stanbic IBTC Bank, CNI Leasing, UACN Properties, and United Capital PLC. Turning now to the foreign scene, we see that FTSE, Dow Jones, and Nikkei, the stocks in those countries are affected by the ongoing coronavirus, which have weighed down on market sentiments. We'll take a break now and we'll return with news on the foreign scene. Do stay with us.
Give him his shoes somewhere here, his phone and everything.
Don't do like that today, no.
Thank you.
So, bye-bye.
Hey, Oga, where do you think you are going? Ho!
You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
Shake body, see?
Eh? You never shake body.
Eh? I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here.
Sit down there.
What's this man still doing here?
They say I should shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I should do this. And I say I don't get combo.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, ma'am.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
The main opposing sides in South Sudan civil war are due to meet in the capital, Juba, to agree on details for a joint transitional government which is meant to be formed on Saturday. 2 deadlines have already been missed, and discussions will focus on security arrangements and the sharing of power in a new administration. Former rebel leader Riek Machar arrived in South Sudan on Monday ahead of the latest talks with President Salva Kiir. Machar has been living in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, and agreements on security will play a key role in whether a new transitional government is announced and he formally returns to the country. All warring parties were meant to have jointly trained and unified their forces, but this has not happened. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has wrapped visits to Senegal, where he discussed with the United States' role in security issues in Africa, to Angola. In Addis Ababa, he met with leaders from the Ethiopian government and the African Union before he completed his 9-day travel with stops in Saudi Arabia and Oman. Pompeo reiterated U.S. support for Ethiopia and the Ethiopian people as they implement historic political and economic reforms. He also highlighted the importance of free and fair elections in accordance with the Ethiopian constitution. Now in Angola, Pompeo met with President João Lourenço in Luanda, with talks focused on strengthening the economy and supporting Angolans in their fight against corruption. The United States has pledged to provide $8 million to control desert locusts in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia. The U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced this support in a joint press conference with Ethiopian Foreign Minister in Addis Ababa last week. The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, asked the international community to provide nearly $76 million to fund the spray of the affected areas with pesticide. The UN agency warns that the East African region could be on the verge of a food crisis if huge swarms of locusts devouring crops and pasture are not brought under control. On Tuesday, China reported its fewer new coronavirus infections since January and its lowest daily death toll for a week. Indeed, the World Health Organization says data suggests the epidemic had slowed down, but it should still be viewed with caution. The head of a leading hospital in China's central city of Wuhan, the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak, died of the disease on Tuesday, becoming one of the most prominent victims since the disease first appeared at the end of last year. Chinese officials reported 1,886 new cases, bringing the mainland China total to 72,436. And in sports, Abia Warriors have dismissed their head coach Emmanuel Josh after losing to Eimba. The club, in a statement signed by its secretary, Esebia Iberi, directed the Cameroonian-born gaffer to hand over the club properties in his possession to the secretary. They condemned the loss of 3 matches in a row, adding that the recent performance does not portray good qualities of the team. Meanwhile, the chief coach of the club, Willie Udabe, has been directed to take over the affairs of the team in the interim capacity. UEFA says it has shaved 15 seconds off the average time it takes for the video assistant referee system to correct a decision in its Champions League this season. It said the average is now down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. UEFA says that in 108 playoff round and group stage matches so far, 27 decisions have been corrected by the VAR system, an average of 1 every 4 games. The use of VAR in some domestic leagues, particularly England's Premier League, has been widely criticized. This has come with suggestions that the video officials in some countries now have more power than those on the pitch. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta. Felix, thanks for watching.